Hey guys, welcome to our new video. In this video, we will see how to play Rubinstein variation in French defense. So let's start. E4, E6, D4, D5, and now knight C3. So as we have already seen in last video, there are three options: bishop B4, which is whenever variation, knight F6, which is classical, and D into E4, which is Rubinstein variation. So after D into E4, knight into E4. In our last video, we have already seen knight D7, and in this video we will see how to play bishop D7 variation. So if you haven't checked out that knight D7 video, then you can click on the I button and watch it. So after knight into E4, let's start with bishop D7. So the main plan of bishop D7 is to play bishop C6, and we will exchange our bishop with white's knight and just play and keep our position very solid. In general, in this position, this bishop is a very passive piece. If you play knight D7, so that's why some players prefer to play bishop D7 and bishop C6 and just exchange this with this knight or maybe with this knight. So let's start. After bishop D7, white again knight F3 is obvious, bishop C6, and now here we have two options: knight G3 and bishop D3. So after knight G3, it's very simple. Knight G3, you just play knight D7, bishop D3, knight F6, short castle, and bishop E7. So this variation will convert in our main line, which we will see in few minutes. So after bishop C6, bishop D3 is the main line. So after bishop D3, knight D7, short castle, and now knight F6. So after knight F6, white also have two choices. First is knight G3 and second is to take on F6. The third choice is rook E1, but after rook E1 you can play simply knight into E4, bishop into E4, bishop into E4, rook into E4, knight F6, and if rook goes back, then we will play bishop E7. And almost two minor pieces are already exchanged, and our simple plan is to play short castle, queen D5, and then rook, develop your rook and play C5. So this position is already completely equal for black, and black have no problems. So after knight into F6, here after knight into F6 we will play queen into F6, which is very interesting move, and the main variation after queen into F6 is bishop E2. So after queen into F6, our main plan is to take bishop into F3, then queen into F3, queen into F3, G into F3, and then you can see all pawns are not in good shape, and white structure is already become much worse than black. So after bishop into F3, queen into F3, the position is completely better for black only. So some players will allow this bishop into F3, but at that time you can just grab all the pieces, and maybe pawn endgame is clearly better for black. So basically after queen into F6, white can just set one trap by playing bishop G5, but here you can play just simply bishop into F3, queen D2, which is also a very good move to protect this G5, but thankfully you have this move queen into D4, now G into F3, and you are full pawn up. And also this pawn structure is very weak, so black's position is much stronger. So after queen into F6, the main option is to play bishop E2, and the main option is to play bishop E2, and after bishop E2 we will just play bishop D6, now C4, and we will play bishop E4 here. So after bishop E4, our main plan is to play bishop f4, exchange these bishops, and after some time we can even play queen g6 to attack on g2. If white plays more like c5, then we will just play simply bishop f4, bishop into f4, queen into f4, and this position is already very good for black. Maybe sometimes black can play moves like g5, g4, h5, h4, h3 and start attack on white's king. So here white don't have any good plans, only black's pieces are active, so black is clearly much better in this position. Let's see one important variation. Instead, after bishop d3 we have played knight d7, right? So instead of knight d7, why not knight f6 directly? The main reason is because of knight into f6, queen into f6. Here white can play bishop g5, and bishop into f3 is not working because of queen d2, and this is a very good trap by white. Now our queen cannot go to here, queen to e7, d8. The only valid square is to play queen into d4, and now bishop b5 check is coming. In our last variation which we saw, in that variation bishop b5 was not coming because knight was at d7 and not at b8. So that's what a big difference. And let's see the last variation. So after short castle, here knight f6, and now what if white plays knight g3? We already seen knight into f6, queen into f6, bishop g5, bishop into f3, that variation. So let's see what if knight g3. So we will play simple chess, bishop e7, queen e2, and here the important move is to play bishop into f3, because now white's plan is to play knight e5. So it is good if we take this knight, queen into f3, short castle. No, just one second. Here we will play c6, and to defend this pawn is main idea of c6. So after c6 white can play rook d1, then we will play short castle, c3 and queen c7. Although white have double bishops which are very good, but white really cannot do anything on our king side and on queen side. So black is just fine in this position also. So what should be next plan? So next plan is to just play rook d8, rook c8 and g6, bishop f8, bishop g7. This is also one plan. The another plan is to slowly start attack with rook c8, b6 and c5. Even sometimes a5, a4 can also work, a5, a4, a3. And in some variations you can take e5 break also. So black is fine, white is also fine. White have slight advantage, but let me tell you one thing. After knight into e4, okay, so knight c3, d into e4, and after d into e4, if white plays precisely, if white plays every move correct, then white gets some slight advantage, although black can maintain equality by playing accurately, but it's very difficult if white is a much strong player than you. So I would recommend, if you are going with d into e4 variation, then either you should prepare very strongly, or else you can change the main line by playing bishop b4 or knight f6. But if you want to stick to d into e4, then I will advise you that just prepare both this line, knight d7 and bishop d7, and also some sidelines, for example knight f6 or maybe bishop e7. That will give you extra advantage, because anyway if white makes a very simple moves and very common moves, then also white get a complete equality. So there are very few chances in which I would say there are very few variations in which black gets a good position. For example, in this variation we got good position after bishop into f3 and queen d2, but obviously this was trap to allow bishop g5 and play bishop into f3, but every time white will not fall into such traps. So I would advise prepare 2 to 3 side variations if you are going to play this Rubinstein variation. So I hope you learned something new from this video, and thank you for watching this video. Until then, see you in next video. Until then, bye bye.